2008 Acura TL. We're gonna work on doing an oil change today. So it's a little cold out here. So first things first, I'm going to let the oil heat up a little bit, make it a little easier to drain. So just gonna turn the car on, let it sit maybe a few minutes. You don't want it too hot because you got to go down there. So let's do it. This is what we're going to be using. I'm just going to use a FRAM oil filter, PH7317. Also 0W20 for the oil. So let's get to it. Also, another thing for the oil capacity, it's going to be around, I think, 4.2. If you don't take out the oil filter, but if you're refilling the oil filter as well, I think it's 4.5. In this case, US quarts. And there's usually little marks here to kind of let you know how far you go. This side is the quarts and the other side is the liters. So most of this bottle is going to be used probably all the way down to the bottom, but not all of it. Okay, so I'll let the car heat up a little bit. I went ahead, put a jack on this side, lift it up on this side. I don't have any jack stands. They're currently being used for the Honda. I still got to change out the main bearings and rod bearings, mainly the rod bearings, and she should be good to go. So under here, if we go under this way, on this side, you'll see this little pin here. Sometimes this pin is a little different depending on the model. It says engine oil here, and then the actual plug on this side, on the back, that for me is a 13 millimeter. So for me it's a 13. It could be different. Sometimes it's a 14, a 15, even a 16, but it depends on, I guess, if whoever changes out the plug. I don't know what the OEM plug was. This is an 08, so it's a little older. But we're gonna pop that open. Okay, so I went ahead and cracked it loose. Should be able to spin it now. Perfect. I need to get another drain plug, to be honest with you. All right, make sure you have somewhere you can put the oil in. So you'll just keep twisting this. Boom. A little bit of a mess, but I tried to get it without making too much of a mess. Yeah, move that over. We're gonna drop the car down so the oil can go down nice and smooth. Alright, so we went ahead and dropped the car down so it can be as level as possible. My driveway isn't the most level, but that's how it looks. Looks like should be about good. Doesn't take too long. Gonna lift her back up. One thing I did forget to mention is go ahead and pop the hood open. Go ahead and remove this just to help relieve the pressure that's holding the oil in. So starting from here, next is the oil filter. The oil filter is right beside the oil pan over here on the left side of the car if you're standing from the front. I would recommend you turn the wheel. That's the filter right there. Right here is that filter. If you can't turn it by hand, then you can use one of the tools. So I should be able to turn this oil filter by hand. In this case, if you need one of these, you can definitely use it. Drop it here and then turn it. We're gonna go ahead, close up the oil pan, turn this wheel so that we can get to the oil filter. Oil pan plug. Alrighty. Alright. I'm gonna scooch the oil pan out the way. Be careful because it's full of oil. And let's go ahead and tighten this down. It doesn't have to be too tight. Just hand tighten. I'll get 2 hands on it. Okay. So as stated before, I'm gonna go ahead and turn that wheel so I can find the key. I'm gonna put it on the on position. And then turn the wheel to the right. Boom. Okay. You'll see this one's turned that way. And then this one's turned outwards how we need it. To elaborate, this is the tool that you can use, something like this. We'll see if I can get it by hand. Okay, what I'm doing is I'm gonna turn it this way. So I'm taking my hand, turning it that way. All right. Okay, so I'm not able to get the oil filter by hand. So I'm gonna end up using this tool. You put it on the bottom end of it, squeeze, and then you turn. You'll squeeze and then turn that way. So, okay, so I'll loosen it. You can see by the marks at the bottom. Just to kind of demonstrate, put the tool like this, squeeze, and then turn that way. Then you let go, so you can get some more leverage. Go back on the end again. Make sure mines keep moving, but you want it in this slot right here. I don't know if I can move it with one hand. Yeah. Put it in that slot. Come over here, squeeze, turn. I had to use 2 hands for it because it's a little tight. Now you can turn it all the way out like this. Should be pretty smooth. Oil's gonna come out. Let me tighten it. Okay. All right, let me get the oil pan, put it underneath. You don't want to mess. Okay, got it out. This is literally the messiest part because it always makes a mess there. I forgot to put a paper towel or towel on the edge here so it doesn't make a big mess. It's messy. So this is the filter. Go ahead and tip it over. There's oil inside of it. Get the oil out. This is a messy job. This is the most messiest part here. All right, let's go grab the new filter. I usually use Mobil 1, but lately I've not had luck finding it. So I've been using the FRAM oil filter. It's been fine. I mean, every time I do an oil change, I change the filter anyway. So it's probably not going to matter as much. It's not like the filter stays in there any longer. Usually I change it around 3,000 to 5,000. It's usually when I change the oil. Since there was still oil on the spline, I just went ahead and got it in. But really, this don't need to be any tighter than hand tightened. There's a like a rubber washer or something that's right on top that helps it seal. So really you don't need to do this any more than hand tighten. I'm gonna tighten it down a little bit more, just get some leverage from the top, and then I'll twist it some more. Cool. So got the FRAM oil filter in, nice and tight, hand tighten. Tighten down the oil pan. So I'm gonna use something like this, a funnel. Mine's just cracked right here, so just gonna make sure I angle it this way. Grab your oil. I'll put it in like this. That way it don't move. What about half? I'm just gonna take a quick peek underneath. Just want to make sure nothing's leaking. Let's get back to it. Just gonna check the oil real quick, see where we're at. It's just on the tip, so I'm gonna fill it up some more. You can tell I'm not even at all the way where it's supposed to be. It's probably down here more. But I'm real tedious with this task because this is my wife's main car, so make sure it's done right, so she don't have to worry about it. So it looks about right. That's what I have left. Mostly this right here. So what I do next is I usually close it up, let it heat up. I might drive it around a little bit and then recheck the oil. Make sure it's in line to the full line. But yeah. And at the very end, make sure you put back the oil cap. Now the important part is resetting the oil light. Went ahead and put the key onto the on position. You see it says we are past due on the oil change. So this select/reset button right here, click and hold. Until the maintenance reset light come on. I think it's around 10 seconds, took a little bit. And here we're just gonna select OK on that selected here. Boom. Now it should be no longer here, and we're gonna keep scrolling up until we get to the oil life, and you can see now it's 100%. So now I'm gonna go ahead and test the oil out. Let it heat up a little bit, start it up. Watch for any leaks, and then I'm gonna recheck the levels of the oil. I may drive the car around, but that's optional. So let it heat up, recheck it, see if it's good, and it'll be all done. So again, my name is Rich. Have a good one. Peace.